Okay, our next speaker, who, by the way, has to do a marvelous job as the final speaker. No pressure. When he's not giving his clients financial advice, he's leading the Coventry RTC as their chairman. And this past November, won his seat on the Coventry Town Council. He is heavily involved in the Super PAC T-PAC 2020, which supports President Trump. He is a strong conservative. That's right, you can clap. He is a strong conservative constitutional advocate who believes that the Republican Party should seek a high level of activity and begin to educate and inspire the political leaders of tomorrow. He's a vocal promoter of the need to reform the state Republican Party, and in 1919 ran for chairman of the state GOP. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt O'Brien.
So I have to be very careful because the last time I spoke in Southington, I made the front page of 3 newspapers before calling for civil war. I don't remember doing it, but Nancy wanted it. So, thanks. So first of all, I want to thank CTRA for hosting this incredible event today. CTRA will be the leading Republican organization this year, carving the way forward to Republican victories across the state of Connecticut, and I believe that. Not only because we're growing in membership quickly, but because our members are some of the greatest Republicans you will ever meet. And CTRA has taken the bold step to define what Republican means. That is the first and most important step to winning. What the new year represents is a fresh start for us and the challenges we've traditionally faced in Connecticut as Republican candidates and electors. During my run for chairman last year for the party, I brought forward several new ideas to strengthen the party, and I'll touch upon some of those here today. But what we should be asking ourselves are some simple questions. What has changed? Are we poised for victory this year? Have we solidified our ground game? Have we registered enough new voters? Have we stopped running away from our principles and blaming the president for failures? Have we acknowledged that we have failed for years to create a united brand and begun to build a new one? Have we clearly defined who we are, what we stand for, and gained the trust of the public? Are we proud to publicly call ourselves Republicans, and do our voters proudly call themselves Republicans? Will our top Republican leaders, and you know who they are, in the Senate and the House, publicly declare their support for President Donald J. Trump this year and lead the way to a Trump victory in Connecticut? Yeah. If they do not, do we really have the leaders that we need in place to move this party forward this year? After 3 years of Trump accomplishments, it should be clear that the president has made remarkable gains for the United States of America. And any Republican who denies that is lying to themselves. And any Republican who denies him their support is not an ally for any other candidate anywhere in our state, because Trump embodies the tip of the spear of what we're fighting for. Without supporting Trump, we won't win the support of rank-and-file Republicans in the state, because rank-and-file Republicans support him and will either support the entire ticket or him alone. What we have seen over the past several years has been the complete decline of the Republican brand, and there are many reasons for that. But there's been such unanswered hostility from Democrats that Republicans have completely compromised on what they've traditionally stood for. Without a strong party behind them, candidates have backed down, flipped their positions, liberalized their personal platforms, and molded themselves into what they think will get them elected. In some cases it works, in most it does not. And it has been this liberalization of the Connecticut Republican that has caused many voters to give up and check out entirely, or at the very least become frustrated with their choices. The easiest thing that a Republican candidate can do to win in this state is to strongly stand against the Democrat Party and label them for everything they've done. I can't tell you how many former Democrats I've met just over the past 2 years that have hashtag walked away. And all of them tell me that they will not only never support another Democrat, but they'll never support a Republican who acts like a Democrat.
Thank God.
We don't need to mold ourselves to be more like the left to gain support from Democrats. We need to be more like ourselves and fully embody authentic Republican values. Those voters will come to us. Leadership should be reinforcing the authenticity of the Republican message and holding candidates accountable for spreading the party's message, not just their own. Their own is important, but the party's message is what's going to carry all of us forward together. As you may or may not know, the GOP does not have a party platform. That puts us at a severe disadvantage. Nearly every other state party in the country, you can look this up, has a clearly defined platform. States like Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey don't have GOP platforms and have seen single-party rule for years as a result. That's why we're establishing a committee, which I've agreed to chair, and draft a Connecticut Republican Party platform for the state party. With your help, we can urge State Central to ratify it and finally give us ground to stand on to unify our voters and our candidates. And bring clarity to elections. Every voter will know what their candidate will do when he enters office. Some candidates, like Rob Sampson, are great at doing that themselves, but with a platform, we'll all be on the same page. We should also be giving candidates a grade, I think, like the NRA does. How closely do candidates adhere to the values? Some candidates won't like that. But if you're putting on the uniform of the Yankees or the Red Sox, you'd better act like your team and be loyal to your team. Here's what we need to do statewide. Increase Republican voter turnout from 73% to 83%. 2/3 of unaffiliated voters voted Republican in the last statewide election. That's a fantastic gauge as to the general support we have out there. Almost 70% of unaffiliated voters are now voting to throw out the party in power. These are figures you won't hear reported anywhere else, and I had to find them myself. Eliminate voter confusion. There should be no doubt what any given candidate will do once elected to office if they run with the Republican Party. Respect from the public is gained by showing that we are what we stand for and acting accordingly. Stick together, fight together, defend each other. Unify under one Republican banner with one message. We're getting nowhere by forcing thousands of candidates across the state to create a personal platform that they pull out of thin air every time they run. There needs to be a base canvas to work with so that there's a common thread running through the entire party. We've been weakened to the point where that thread has been lost. Create and reinforce a strong brand and hammer it into the collective consciousness of every Connecticut voter. They need to see billboards, TV ads, radio commercials telling them why Republicans are the right choice for them and their families, telling them the truth. Republicans have no media outlet of our own. Every newspaper, every radio and TV news station does the bidding of the Democrat Party. And anyone who's run for office in this understands that. And we're lying to ourselves if we think that we will ever make headway with the public by trying to message through any of the mainstream media platforms or through the news. Not only that, but hundreds of thousands of traditional Republican voters have tuned out completely. They've cut the cord. They're not listening anymore. They rightfully don't trust the media. They've gone off the cliff with the media. What are we doing to counteract the false narrative that Republicans are racist, sexist, homophobic, Nazis, bent on destroying everything? We need a ground game, folks. Unless candidates can be authentic Republicans and gain support from volunteers across the state, we're dead in the water. If we're not on the ground, we are not in control of our elections. And this is a big problem for us. Grassroots campaigns are so important to our success, and they have been forgotten. Just look at the lack of volunteer support for most state reps in the last election. People just aren't coming out to publicly support candidates anymore. And that goes back to building a brand and making people proud to be Republicans. We need to give them a mission that emboldens them to take action, because they are our special forces. Reestablish Republican pride. It's time to be proud of who we are. Broadcast our accomplishments. Take credit for doing great things for our voters. Show them that we're fighting for them every day. Take on big challenges and big issues and lead from the front. If you take anything away from what I've said today, just know this. We need leaders to emerge that can inspire others to join us and to take action. We know what happens to Republicans who step aggressively into the ring to fight. They're targeted. Their families are targeted. In some cases, their careers are attacked.
Yes.
The pressure is enormous. But with support, encouragement, friendship, networking, faith in who we are, and the noble mission that we are undertaking, we can overcome anything that the left throws at us. Be not afraid. Never doubt yourself. Don't ever give in. Connecticut, I think, is worth fighting for. This country is worth fighting for. And I believe in